Something I hear a lot is, why do I have to change? If you're an empty nester, meaning it's your own children, your grandchildren, your niece or nephew, however these kids came into your life or were a part of your life, whether you were their a significant adult in their life raising them, or you actually raised them yourself. When these young adults leave the house to get married, to go to college, we talk about this a lot, you have structured your life and your family dynamic around these children quite often. And something I hear a lot from empty nester parents, aunts, uncles, grandparents, and significant, like I said, family member adults in the adult child's life is, why do I have to change? I had my life planned and structured around these kids. This is how we always did it. What's the problem with that statement? You're the problem. And a lot of people will ask, well, why do I have to change? They're the one who moved out of the house. They're the one who got married. They're the one who went away to college, got a roommate, started their life. My life is static. My life, my partner or spouse, whatever you have, or if you're a single parent empty nester, was set. Why do I have to change my comfort zone because they left the house? I'm going to tell you why. Because when your expectations of your adult child are the same that you had for them when they were 10, 12, 16, and you were in a place of authority or power over them, like, we are going to do this on this day, or every Sunday we always got ice cream. We went to a movie twice a month. What do you mean you don't want to do that anymore? We've always done that. That means you are stuck. That means you are living in a false reality of what is in existence now. We've talked about this in other videos, but when we're holding on so tightly, think about these adult kids as a cake. You've put all the ingredients in, stirred them up, you bake the cake. The cake is done. The cake comes out, your pineapple upside down cake, whatever you made, and it's delicious and it's whole, it's cooked. If you took that cake and put it back in an oven, what would happen? You would burn it, and it wouldn't be edible. It would be a waste. So if you're having the same expectations in trying to parent or aunt or grandparent or uncle adult children, expecting them to have the same interactions and give you the same amount of time they gave you when they were dependent minors, you were operating in an expired role. I've talked about expired parenting roles. There can be expired grandparenting roles and uncle roles and aunt roles and significant mentor roles from church. It changes. You have given to these kids, now adults, their whole lives and poured into them so they could be somebody independent, somebody strong, somebody functioning long after you're gone. So when you take them back or attempt to take them back or put expectations on them that you had when they were dependent minors, it's like taking your perfect pineapple upside down cake and saying, I'm going to put it in the oven and cook it some more. You've cooked it. You've cooked it to perfection. You've made it perfect. When you're, and I harp on this a lot, guys, in my videos, when you are harping on these adults about their weight, their lifestyle, the things they're doing, taking their inventory, you are pushing them away. Every time that comes out of your mouth, that criticism, that expectation, or that phrase, we've always done it that way. Used to love strawberry ice cream. What do you mean you like Neapolitan or mint or whatever the modern flavors are? No, that's not even who you are. You're pushing them further away. My name is Dawn, the recovery lady, DAWN, like the morning. I'm a licensed behavioral health clinician doing life recovery tips, sharing with you. I do have a media past, currently doing a series on empty nesting because I'm in that myself, and I am growing in ways that I thought in this point in my life, with my experience, with my recovery experience and my education, wow, you wouldn't think, but every day there's something new. And that's why we need to talk about the you asking yourself, why do I need to change? Hey, if you're in a marriage, this could be even harder. What do you mean I'm sitting here with you tonight? We've always gone to the kids' game on Wednesday nights. Now I'm going to look at you. I'm not sure I like you anymore. Who are you? Because maybe you didn't have that weekly date night when you were raising kids. Or every time you did spend time together, it was spent around your children, and you stopped pouring into each other. You have an opportunity to grow now. So the question being, why do I have to change? It's because the way you're thinking and the way you're operating are stuck in a place in the past. And you know why? It's an uncomfortable comfort zone. About a year ago, I did a video on comfort zones. I would encourage you to go back and watch that. And the analogy I always like to use when I teach groups and classes on this is the swaddled baby. The baby comes out, when you give birth to a baby, it's swaddled up so tightly, and it gives it comfort. It is a comfort zone. The reason they swaddle a baby up so tightly when it comes out of the mother's womb is because it mimics that warm, tight feeling of the mother's womb, and it helps in a transition. It isn't meant to be forever. What if you left a newborn baby in a swaddle, changed its diapers, fed it, and swaddled it its whole life? You would maim it. It wouldn't be able to grow. It would be restricting. Comfort zones are meant to be temporary for a short amount of time, a very short amount of time. They're transitional zones. So if your comfort zone was building your life around your children, and you didn't pour into yourself and developing your own needs, and you continually are trying to operate that way, you're trying to swaddle a fully grown child, and it's going to hurt them, and it's going to be painful. So what's going to happen? They're going to reject it, and they'll reject you. It is so important that we modernize our thinking and stop pointing fingers at our adult children saying they've changed. Not me, it's them, they're different. Yeah, you taught them to love and embrace other people, cultures, and ways, and they're taking all the solid knowledge you gave them, and they're spreading out and spreading their wings. It's up to you to choose to change the way you're living. Not look at your adult children and say they need to change. That is a harsh and painful reality. And yes, I go through these stages myself. And I'm not just talking about changing the way that you interact with your adult children, just the way you operate. Like, are you calling your kids to help you set up the remote, or grabbing your phone and saying, hey, you're here, could you fix this for me or that for me? Because I'm going to tell you, you may not be seeing it, but there is eye rolling going on. If you are stuck in this area, there's a likely chance you are stuck in other areas. You are stuck in other areas of growth in your life, stuck in comfort zones. Like, this technology is hard. Hey, I say that. I did a whole video on me using this app, vidIQ, to help my channel grow. And I didn't understand the algorithms. And I had to just decide I'm backing away because it was making me lose my passion for the channel. And now I might go look at it again in small teaspoons in a palatable way, instead of trying to think I can do it all at once because, hey, I'm an educated woman, blah, 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 blah. So what things do you need to let go of? Which ways can you grow? How can you start that ability and willing to change just in your own house? Can you set up your own remote? Can you refresh your own computer? Can you learn to do things? My son always tells me, YouTube it, Mom, YouTube it. That's how I started this channel. Yes, I do a lot of these life recovery tips in the car. I call them car tips because that's when I get inspired, when I'm driving a lot, or on or before or after the gym or something. I'm like, oh, it's fresh. I'm going to do it in the car instead of the home studio. And it's a way to embrace change. I want you to start with your homework this week. Do one thing that you can change in your house. One thing that you expect your adult child. Can you really not stand on a step ladder to change a light bulb, or figure out how to set the timer on your stove, Or the clock on your microwave. Hey, I struggle with the clock on my microwave. I asked a younger person to do it who was at my house, not my kid, and they couldn't figure it out. So what happens? I'm going to have to look up the directions online and figure it out. Your willingness to change and grow in one area will overflow in other areas of your life, and I want to encourage you to do it. Be willing to change. You are in a new life stage. Your children are thriving out there, your adult children. And you are going to be a more attractive parent to come visit, spend time with, and enjoy when they, and if you have, if you're willing to change, and if you haven't seen them in a while, they haven't been to your house in months, what are you doing to refresh your life? So when they come over, it's going to be like, well, they're not stuck anymore. Are your expectations of them stuck in the past? This is something we need to review. And, real quick, 30 seconds, the study they did on centenarians, I hope I'm saying that correctly, the people who lived to be over 100, saw this study years ago, 7-continent study. What was the one thing they all had in common? It wasn't their food, it wasn't their culture, if they drank, if they smoke, it was their ability to handle change. I remember them interviewing, you've heard me mention this if you've been with me for a while, this lady in her hundreds, and I think she wasn't even sure how old she was, and she had lost children and spouses, and she said, hey, it's part of the life cycle. Your adult children leaving your nest and moving on without you and not needing you the way they did before is part of the life cycle. Just like artificial intelligence and electronics and all those things, and we can embrace it or we can be stuck behind and miserable. I'm encouraging you to embrace the change. My name is Dawn, the Recovery Lady. Thank you so much for joining me. Please joining me today, and please like and subscribe and share. I'm so grateful for you. Love you guys. Have a blessed day.